Oh, hey. What are you doing up? I'm just gaming, as usual. Let me guess. My sister's asleep. Yeah, that figures. She always says she's gonna stay out late or she's gonna pull an all-nighter or something, and she can never make it past midnight, I swear. I don't think I've seen her once make it past midnight. What about you, though? You can't sleep? No, I've been there with my awful, and I mean absolutely awful, sleep schedule. I have many, many times stayed up till the sun comes up. I'll tell you what works for me, though. Decaf tea, right? And, don't make the mistake of getting caffeinated tea. So, decaf tea, specifically. And pop in some earbuds and listen to classical music. Yeah? Well, you're surprised? No, it really does work. I'm serious. Oh, you're surprised that... Yes. I listen to classical music. Yeah, I know. Surprising. You think it would be a lot more EDM and electronic based on the games I play, but... Yeah, no, I like me my classical. Although if you look at my playlist, it is going to be a pretty healthy mix of both. Although it's pretty jarring. Even when you don't listen to it on shuffle, it'll just kind of pop back and forth. Oh, hold on. I think my game is about to start. Well, best of luck to you. The tea bags are... Well, you've been here enough times, you know where they are. But best of luck. Good night. Oh my god, there's a lot of you. Do I have enough arrows for this? Ooh, probably not. Okay, I'm gonna put you over there. Can I use this? No, I can probably sell those though. Hey. What's up? I see you have your tea. Is it helping any? No, it didn't help me at first either. But, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be going to bed? No, you can't sleep. Well, you probably shouldn't be out in the hallway here talking. My sister's room is like right over there. Yeah, you can come sit with me if you want. I'm just playing a game right now. But if you want to, yeah, come on in. Okay, there we are. Oh, I have some popcorn here, by the way, if you wanted some. Yeah, it's like the white cheddar stuff. Actually, before I start, I have some on my fingers, sorry. I don't want to get the controller all gunky. But yeah, go ahead. Oh, this? Oh yeah, this is, it's an older RPG. Yeah, it's called Dragon Age. It's made by BioWare, and they did the Knights of the Old Republic MMO game, and they did KOTOR as well. Yeah, and they've made some other stuff too. Those are my two favorite games from them, though. Nah, it's not particularly hard. It's kind of just you've given the tools to get out of these situations. That's why there's so many of them. But I have a couple extra people, and I'm moving my archer up to the top of the tower there to take a shot. Yeah, it's like turn-based, sorta. You can give them commands and move them. It's an RPG, you know, so you're keeping track of your companion quest lines, the romance, like your side quests and stuff like that, your abilities, and yeah. This is one of my, like, relaxing games. There we go. Sorry, I'm, like, kind of focused. I really don't want to have to use any more healing here. I remember back years ago when you were in elementary and I had moved up into middle school. Every time you came over, you would always be peeking in through the door, because I used to leave it open a lot in the summer when it would get hot. And you'd always ask what I'm playing, and you'd always try and play it. Oh yeah? That's what did it for you, huh? You starting to enjoy games? I remember I overheard our moms talking, and your mom was saying that as soon as you had gotten your phone, that you would always be watching YouTubers play games and stuff like that. You were so fascinated by games. Was that what did it? Just watching me play when you were a kid? I remember when you first started playing games. Yeah, my sister was telling me that you had gotten, I think it was a PlayStation from a yard sale, and you were so excited. Yeah, she was telling me, she was bragging about how she was going to be able to go over to your place and play all the games that she could ever want, because I would not be there to hog. Because I remember at the time, I had one game I was playing and I couldn't stop, and she never got time to play. She always told me that she would just go over to your place anytime and you guys would play together. And you got really good at fighting games from what she told me, but she's kind of bad, so I can't really trust her judgment on that. And I remember that was about the time that you discovered story games too. Yeah. I remember she mentioned you'd played a couple that you really liked, and I remember she relayed to me what you told her about when you played Ori in the Blind Forest. Yeah. You talked about the colors and the depth of feeling that you got when playing. And all of these big words that I really only thought that I used to describe games. I remember back then I felt so silly about it, you know. When I was a kid, I didn't really understand. You know, it's just a game. It's a fun, silly little thing to do in my pastime. You know, and here I was using all these big words like, you know, depth and story and richness, right? I was comparing it to something beautiful and something, you know, whole. And I thought it was silly at the time, but the more and more that I grew, the more and more that belief grew. And I saw games for what they were, which was art. And I never really knew that other people felt that same way until I heard you talk about some of your other favorites. You played Metro. It's a tough, grimy game that I didn't think was your style. I remember at the time that you started playing it that you were a bit scared. Well, it was one of your first games and it spooked you a little bit. But that's intended, right? The world is supposed to be inhospitable and terrifying. I honestly, I half expected you to just chicken out and not play anymore. But you made it all the way through. And you told me about the richness of the game, how the characters made you feel. And I remember at the time you described it to the like of a book, right? Or a movie. And I thought that was really unique. It made me realize that these games really are art. If someone else other than me can recognize it, then it should be true, right? And I know we talked more and more about games. You entered from single-player games to RPGs. You made your way all the way around. You played racing games, you know, starting with Mario Kart and working your way out from there. And I know you played a lot of puzzle games and story games as well. And you were one of the only other people that I know that described games like I did. Even my friends, as much as I love them, mostly only play shooters and multiplayer versus games. And, you know, I do love me my Valorant and my CS and, you know, Halo, Overwatch, all of that good stuff. But when you only play that, it starts to get a little boring, you know? And they don't really describe games like I do. You know, they're looking for something more on the mechanical side, you know? Game playing well and feeling well, which are of course important, but for me it was always the depth of games that brought me back to them. In fact, you'll rarely see me nowadays playing those games if I'm not playing with them. No, I'd much rather play something that makes me feel, you know? Make me fall in love with the characters, the story, the setting, the environment, right? Make me think about the world that it's in. And you've come a long way too. I remember the first time we played something together. We played... What was it? I think I got you to play Lego Star Wars with me one night when you were waiting for my sister to get home. What was it? Her soccer or baseball, I think? I don't know. She did so many sports back in the day. But you waited, I think, an hour and a half. And after a while, I finally convinced you to play Lego Star Wars. And that's what we played. And the next time, I suspect you came over a little early, just so you can play some. No, I'm not wrong, am I? That's okay. No, in truth, I really enjoyed playing with you too. Yeah, I did. And as time went on, we played more and more together. Whenever you were over, you know. We played Ready or Not, the squad shooter, and I had been familiar with tactical shooters for a while. And I know you had tried some other stuff like Stalker, and you had played Metro, right? Not necessarily too much of a tactical shooter, but you played Stalker and, you know, had a little bit of a basis to understand. But it was hard, even for me, actually. But we figured it out together. You know, we slowly learned what worked and what didn't. It was a tough game, and mistakes matter, right? You make one wrong move and you die. And we theorized and we practiced. We made plans. We had contingencies. Yeah, we did. We finished every mission, max score, I think, while the game was still in alpha and buggy as all hell. But we were determined, and I really enjoyed playing with you. You know, we would eventually hop on for the classics. You know, we'd play Halo, or we would play, you know, the new Ubisoft one, the X-Defiant, the shooter. And then I remember one day you came over. I remember the day as clear as if it was yesterday. You came over, and you brought your laptop, and you gave me a code. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, we played It Takes Two together. It's a cute game, and it has a fun little thing where if one person owns the game, they can have somebody else join them for free. And each person gets a friend pass that they can give this second copy of the game to. But the caveat is that I can only play with you, which I don't mind. I wasn't, in truth, really going to touch the game, actually. And I was a little unsure about if I would enjoy it. But you gave me the friend code, and I joined, and we sat down for 6 hours. Completely missed the movie that the three of us were going to go see. And we just played. Yeah, it was really nice. You were so excited to play it with me. I just couldn't resist. I couldn't say no. I enjoyed playing with you a lot. Oh yeah, right, my game. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. And you started coming by less. You got busy, I know how school is. And we played a little less. We would come over and sometimes we would play a single-player story game. We'd pass the controller back and forth, and we would sit and we'd watch. But you started coming by less. Yeah. I missed playing with you. It was not something that I anticipated, I had my friends who wanted to play, whatever, shooters and multiplayer versus games and all of that good stuff. Fighting games, which I have always been historically really bad at. You always used to look at me a certain way. I always thought it was because you saw me as an older brother. You were close with my sister and you were over all the time. Right? I couldn't get away from you, trust me. You were always around somewhere. And you know that look that someone gets when they're playing a game that really touches their heart? A story that pulls on their emotions, characters that they fall in love with, a feeling, the atmosphere, and it all just clicks. That perfect game in that moment. It makes you feel so deeply. It keeps you thinking even after you're done playing. You're sitting through your lectures at school thinking about the next time you can experience the story, what it will be like, what the next thing that's going to happen is. Right? You're enamored by it, and it sort of takes over your mind a little bit. And I know it sounds like I'm talking about like addiction or anything, but I just mean this one experience, something that's so incredibly impactful to you. I'm sure you know a game like that. I know I do. I have a few that are like that. And that feeling, right? That look. Well, you started coming around less and less. And it was then that I realized that you didn't look at me like I was your older brother anymore. I didn't know what it was at first, but you looked at me like that. And that's okay. It was the same look of wonder and beauty and captivation that I was giving you. I'm sorry, that was that was weird of me to say. Kind of just out of nowhere. I was not really planning on that.
tonight. I was just gonna get some snacks and play some Dragon Age, and somehow I'm in the middle of this conversation with you. Sorry about that. That must have been weird on your part. So I guess I was right on that then. Out of all of the stories that I've played and the characters I've met along the way, and all of it, all of the beautiful art that I have been able to experience, my favorite one was always you. I think the only person I could probably tell that to, and they would understand it, is you. I guess that makes it more special then, right? I stopped because you're looking at me like that again. You also look kind of tired now. Come here. Yeah, comfy. Reminds me again of when we were kids. You'd fall asleep with your head on my shoulder, just like this. You know, if you want, I could find us something to play together. Hey. No. All nice and snug. And you've got one curl that's just there. Sweet dreams.